Hi, are you somebody who is sensitive to colors, art, and just everything under the umbrella of painting? Today, we're going to talk about pastel colors. So, if you're somebody who's attracted to colors, stay tuned. Especially if you're sensitive, right? You could feel colors more deeply. You could sense the emotions that colors evoke. And if you're somebody who is attracted to colors, whether you're wearing a colorful dress and you feel as though your best self, you're wearing yellow and you feel bright and sunny, or you feel you're wearing a blue color skirt and you feel feminine, or you're somebody who's wearing a green shirt, you might feel as though you're in a state of peace and harmony, right? So it's important to sense colors as well, to reflect on what each color makes us feel, because that in turn can help us paint better and in a way that we're creating art that's very authentic and honest to us. And this might not feel too important at first. Why do we need to reflect on colors and sense them? Like, who does that? But as an artist, or somebody who likes to paint, or somebody who wants to paint, even before deciding what you want to paint, I think it's very important to ask yourself, what is it that is speaking to you as a color today? What color wants to be painted through you, right? So let's unbox this. So this is Fevicryl Pastel Acrylics colors. I'm just doing this with this particular, these particular paints, but feel free to analyze the paints that you already have, right? So I'm going to pick the color pale pink because it's one of my favorite colors. And pale pink is a color that makes me feel soothed, and it connects me to my angels, and it makes me also feel as though I'm close to comfort, right? I'm close to material comfort, but also energetic comfort and the feeling of comfort, the emotion of comfort. And pale pink makes me feel as though everything's going to be okay. There are problems, but it's going to be fine, right? And when I use pale pink paint on different types of art, and here different types, I don't mean different forms of art, but different like artworks, a series of art, and the different techniques that I'm using, still I feel as though I never get bored of using the paint, the color pale pink. Has that ever happened to you where you continuously paint with just one color? It feels as though it's too much of usage of this particular paint, but it's not really. Because the paint, the color, is something that evokes an emotion, a feeling, a thought, a reflection, a memory for you, which is soothing or makes you happy or gives you an emotion that maybe you're not finding in other areas of your life, but you're finding with your version of pale pink. And this is just about pale pink. If we had to analyze another color, let's do pastel blue, should we? So this is pastel blue. And what does it bring up for you? To me, it brings up fun, ocean, the feeling of being close to an ocean, wanting to go close to water. It makes me feel as I want to paint an ocean body or something that's related to a blue sky. It gives me the emotion of calmness, of also being soothed, of presence. So, why is it important? As you can see, I'm talking about paints in a very important sense. So, why is it so important to emphasize to ourselves to pick the right paint? It's yes, it's important that we get the paint right so that we get the painting right, technically speaking. But what about the emotion that we must be feeling while we are painting? What about the emotion that we must be feeling while seeing the painting? Right? Because art is not just about the technical part of art making, it's also about how you feel about that art. How do you process the artistic materials that you're using? Today, we're just talking about pastel paint briefly, but we could also talk about brushes and canvas sheets and paper. And if you're an art enthusiast, you'd really dig that, right? Now, let me ask you, what color is like pale pink or blue that evokes a emotion in you that you need for that painting to feel like it's your own? Because many a times when we pick the wrong color, we're picking because we've seen that color being used in a different painting by a different artist, probably an artist you admire or feel inspired by, and you might think, if this paint color has worked for this artist, for this particular artwork, it could also work for my artwork. Which could be true, but we'd be missing out on creating what's original to ourselves. And that's the beauty of art, especially if you're an abstract artist. We must recognize that art is something that is personal, but is also intimate, right? There's a difference. And when we pick colors and paints and brushes and art material, while thinking of our art process, art making process as intimate, we can then pick paints and colors that speak to us, that we need, that a painting needs. Like pale pink and blue are for me. There'd be other paints that could make your day, give you the comfort or feeling of safety that is missing in other areas of your life. So I encourage you to pick your paints according to how you feel. And don't judge it. If you're feeling blue and you want to pick a paint that's very unusual, pick it. If you're feeling very happy and you want to paint something that makes you feel bright and sunny, pick yellow, right? If you feel sad or gloomy or irritated and you feel as though you don't want to paint something that makes me feel happy, pick black. It doesn't matter if you're picking this color or that color, but what matters is if you're being true to how you're feeling about that color. And I know that not too many content creators in the sphere of art speak about how art makes us feel. But I truly believe that our art materials and paints are very important part of the art making process. And we need to feel a certain way towards them to make sure a painting comes out from a space within us that's intimate. So when you do paint and hang it up on your wall, and when you view it, you'll always have that intimate connection with it. And of course, we want other people to like our work as well. And I'm all for that. And when you recognize the intimacy within your art that you have created because you picked the right paint colors, people who view your art can also start recognizing that and liking that and feeling as though there's something unique about your art. It's not one of those copied art materials, art works. It's unique, it has a voice of its own, and that's very important. So I hope it was helpful for you to learn about picking the right paint through feeling, emotion, understanding of yourself. And if you did find it helpful, please know that you'll find much more useful content in my channel. So do browse and do stick around if you find it helpful. A small disclaimer, I create content so that it attracts people who are very serious about learning. Whether it's about art, I also create content about sensitivity, highly sensitive people, slow living, trees, Reiki, angels. But all of this effort is so that people who feel the same way, like I do, for art or angels or Reiki or nature or their sensitivity, are attracted to this channel as well. Because the goal is to create a channel that speaks to people who experience life very similar to me, right? So if you're somebody who resonates with this channel a lot, I hope you can stick around and make full use of the educational content provided. And if you feel you don't resonate with the channel and the content, I would just like to share that thank you for stopping by and thank you for your time. I'm going to say goodbye now, and I hope that you are going to go and pick a paint or a color or a crayon or a color pencil or whatever from your art material and connect to it and then start painting immediately, because that will give me a ton of satisfaction. And if you're interested in exploring more, please note that I also provide coaching for sensitive and highly sensitive people to discover their unique artistic style, especially if they are gifted creatively, psychically, cognitively, energetically, emotionally, while working through their sensitive challenges. If that interests you, you can book an appointment with me through the link in my YouTube channel bio. There are also links to my websites where you'll find more information, and you can read my blogs that also have a ton of educational content. I hope that you make the best of all the gold mine of content that I've been creating for the past few years. Thank you and bye.